Hi, everyone. Welcome to Book Please Podcast. It's Alina here.
Hey guys, it's Amanda.
We are super excited to be here today. We have a very special guest with us, special to the show. He is author of No Silver Spoons, reality star of Love Island, fitness influencer, actor, Tre Forte.
Thank you for having me.
Do you think there's enough in that title? I feel like you're slacking a little bit.
You named a lot.
I feel like you could do more.
I feel like your book says a lot about that. We're super excited to talk about your book. And I just want to say thank you for being here because all our guests have been virtual. You are our first in-studio guest.
The
and
first
first
one?
male.
Yes, and the first man.
Wow.
Yes, it's a high honor here at Book Please.
Love that for me.
Well, Tre is going to join us with our little trending topics banter, and then we're going to get into his book, which we cannot wait to talk about because we loved it so much. So first, we'll get into, I think everyone heard that national anthem by Ingrid Andress.
I could have done that.
You
Sober.
You could have done it way better, Queen. Okay. I mean, she just kind of really went off the rails with that one. We didn't know what was going on.
It was giving karaoke.
She did give a
That's
statement
crazy.
afterwards. I mean, this was a little while ago, but she did give a statement saying, it was a pretty good statement. Like, she's like, look, guys, I was drunk. I'm going to
She
go
was
check
turned.
myself into a facility, like, get it together. She's like, I heard rehab's a nice place to be, like, whatever. And made light of it and excused herself. I mean, I think that's the best excuse you could have. Like, what else could you possibly say?
I mean, yeah, she was honest, but now I'm like, I don't want her to think drinking is like a problem. But yes, she had an important event to do, not the time and place. Maybe it was nerves. I don't know, but
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, like, I don't really pay attention to that stuff, but I did see it pop up on my feed, and like I heard it and I saw the athlete's reaction, and then
Their
I
faces.
seen her comments post about how she was drunk, and first thing that came to my mind was like, maybe she just had a couple of drinks in her because she was nervous or had anxiety because of it. But like, then I thought to myself, like, I mean, she's a performer. She does this on a regular.
Yeah.
So does she do, like, is this something that she does for all of her shows, or like, has she ever had this kind of performance or what? But I don't think it's the right approach to do something like that when you're about to do the anthem.
yeah, she must have been going through it because I've seen her other performances and they're not.
No, she's good.
She's good.
But
Yeah.
that's what makes me think too, like, I don't know, with your comment saying about her drinking, like maybe she doesn't need to go into a facility, but I feel like if you're that drunk, like that bad, you can be drunk and sing.
Yeah.
Like she must have been off the,
She's
like she
tiny,
clearly
too.
has an issue.
Yeah.
But I would say like even you Tre, like as an athlete, what would your straight face game be like in that kind of
Man.
scenario?
Not even a lot. Like, hate to be critical, but that shit was awful.
It was awful.
That shit was bad.
Was it giving
How,
Fergie?
how do you keep it together?
I heard
Yeah.
Fergie can have a break now. No one
Yeah.
will think about her anymore.
I
No,
mean,
for
yeah.
real.
Yeah, definitely not the person to look at in a situation like that, because like in a team sport, you always got your friend that you look at,
Oh,
and then
you
if
both
y'all,
start
look,
laughing.
if y'all
Done.
make eye contact, it's over.
Done.
So like in my situations, like we'd be in team meetings or like whatever, and then I'll just look at my one friend, and if we look at each other during
done.
a situation, it's over. The laugh is coming up.
You know who you can't look at. I'm the same way.
Always.
It's the worst in like a really bad situation. Literally, it could be, and God forgive me, it'll be like somebody died and you were just like super uncomfortable and you want to laugh. Like, I can't do it. Like, don't
Yeah.
look at me. I
No.
won't be there for you.
Mm.
I'll be the worst. I'm not.
Yeah, you always have that like abrupt look when you know
Yes.
something is happening. Like,
Yes. For sure. That's what it is.
I was like, I
That's
want to
the
be on
face.
her level.
No, queen. No, you don't.
I was like, what time is this going on?
Because when you hear something like that, you think there's no way she can hold a tune whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
But she can, and that's the crazy
I had to go
part.
look. I was
Yeah.
like, no, maybe that's how she said.
Yeah, no. It's not like, oh, she got, given this opportunity and maybe wasn't the best choice. Like, she actually can sing. And I was like,
You know what?
that's
She made
wild.
that baseball game very big.
Yes.
I don't know who won or lost, but I know she did.
I know. Well, good times. Another story that we want to talk about, Miss Whoopi Goldberg. This one's a little wild. This one's a little turned.
Love me some Sister Act. I just
Yeah,
want
I
to say,
haven't really
started
heard
off on a
about that one
positive
yet.
note.
I haven't heard about that. You
This
have to
is
school me in.
crazy. So rest in peace to her mother. She passed away. She loved this Disneyland ride. It's a small world. You know, it's a kid's ride. It's at Disney. And she took her mother's ashes like on the sly to the ride and decided this is where she wanted to spread her mom's ashes.
Okay, my thing on this. You're rich. You can't close down the park and do it alone. Like,
That's the thing. When Amanda and I first talked about it, she's like, okay, like she thought maybe like she had a moment with her. And like you would think, okay, maybe at the foot of the building or in the vicinity, like you
Yes.
kind of sprinkled it on the
what
plants
I
out
thought.
there.
Mhm.
This woman went on the ride, and there's like, who's riding this ride? Like children, and they're on the ride. And she said that she was faking sneezes and would just blow out the
These
ass,
kids are
Man,
eating
going
dust.
in pieces, in pieces.
I
Like,
bet you
in
she was
people's
front
hair.
row too.
No, but for real.
No, it's disturbing for sure. I mean, to even admit it to, I'm just like,
She said it on like Seth Meyers, I think, on the show, and like enough time had passed, I think, where she felt safe, but that shit ain't safe.
Yeah, doing that on a ride with other people is nasty work.
That's really
That's
crazy.
nasty
And
work.
she kept making jokes. Like she was saying that she would be like, "Oh, this cold is getting worse." Like
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
You don't make a joke out of like that's also.
I wonder if she was like kind of exaggerating it a little bit, but
if
for
I
the
gotta
story,
eat
but
ashes,
Yeah.
I want it
that's-
to be someone that I'm like, okay.
I don't
crazy.
want to eat no ashes.
Yeah, that's
I'm like, I'll
crazy.
take some like Whitney ashes, you know, maybe you don't.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing. She said she did
I'm going
admit
to
it
hell.
later because she felt like she told the park later because she's like, I actually didn't realize that maybe it's something that's dangerous. Like what you're freaking eating human.
It's just
like, Or
nasty.
it's I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
That's wild.
It's inconsiderate.
I mean, rest in peace to her mom.
Yes.
And I understand the concept of like wanting to put her somewhere special, something that meant
Mhm.
something to her. But I feel like there are other options for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
For
The only
sure.
thing I'm gonna say is like, you know, her mom just passed away, and her mind ain't right. You know,
Yeah.
whose mind is right? So I'm just like, I gave that one pass, but yeah, let's not. No one else do
you
that.
know, like how some people have like wishes before their death, like,
Mhm.
hey, look, if I ever die, like
Mhm.
when I die, you know, just take my ashes and you know sprinkle them on the
Like on the water on a
the
hill.
Ferris wheel.
On
Like
the-
I just I
Very-
or whatever.
Oh, no.
Just like I can't imagine somebody's ask for that. It's a whole lot of places that you can do it.
Yes.
but
Mhm, that's special, yeah. You
Yeah,
can
I
make
don't
it
know.
into a necklace. You can
All I
put them in
gotta
a
say
teddy
is
bear.
I don't want to be cremated. Okay. Don't want to.
I mean, since we're on this topic,
And when I am, gone, I want, you know how they fill you up with the fluid? I just want a little less. Like, just, snatch me up, doc. Like, put in
Okay.
just a little less.
this is my take. If I die young, I want to be buried. I want people to come visit me. Don't forget about me.
Yeah.
But if I'm old, cremate
if you're
me. I don't care.
young.
Yeah.
So if you're old, you don't want people to visit you?
No,
Make
because I
it make
mean, no, I don't. Because if I'm young, I'm like, I
You want your kids to have a place to go to like see their.
No, I want them to cremate me when I'm old, so they could put me in like a teddy bear and sleep next to me every night.
Oh, I don't know about that. This is a little crazy, honey.
yeah.
He's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Welcome
I
to
don't know
Book Please
about that.
podcast.
I don't know about that. I definitely since we're talking about it, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I want to be cremated or have the funeral with the open casket. I guess it depends on like how you die.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for
I mean, if I was
sure.
Because, like,
busted up,
If
I
you
don't-
die and it's like you just got like
You're
slaughtered or
mangled.
brutally beat up, and then they got to like do a whole lot. You don't really
No,
want
no,
that
no.
open
Yeah.
casket,
I
but-
don't think they even give you that option if
It's
that's
like,
the case.
See, I'm
Closed
thinking
casket.
financially. I'm thinking like if I don't want them
Yeah.
spending a lot of money,
Yeah,
Totally.
those
you
are,
know, and
yeah, those are expensive. Unless
Yeah.
you got life insurance.
oh,
Good
no.
thing you
Okay,
can
now
Plug
this
it,
is
plug
going.
it.
This is
Just
going
saying,
down.
Plug it.
Like, yeah, you don't have life
He
insurance.
might have his life insurance license, don't you?
Yeah, man.
Just another thing on the list
Where
of
did
things
this
trade us.
conversation go?
We could talk about your book since that is, I mean, that's a whole other thing that you do. I feel like you've kind of built this empire for yourself. You have like this fitness world. You wrote a book. You have merch. You have online training. Like I feel like you've really put into practice a lot about drive, motivation, and you are. I feel like the definition of someone who's self-made. And this book, No Silver Spoons, I'll hold it up, it just motivated me to another level, but also made me feel like I am not doing enough for myself for sure.
I was like, good for you, Trey.
See you later.
I wish. No.
Why don't you give our listeners just like a little synopsis of what your book is about so we can get started talking about it?
Yeah, I can do that. First, quick question though.
Oh,
So
goodness.
when you hear no silver spoons, what do you think? Like, what do you think that means?
I think it means that you didn't have handouts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What do you think,
Yeah, I think
Amanda?
you did everything yourself, self-made. And it's not even that you didn't have it easy younger. It's just that you had to work hard for everything you have.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two types of people in life. There's people with silver spoons, they're spoon fed, and then there's people with no silver spoons. The silver spoons people are the people who, they don't necessarily have to work because grandpa has a oil reserve or some kind of trust fund, and it's going to be handed to him as soon as he turns 18. He doesn't even have to go to college. Basically has the family's business to take over. Then you have the no silver spoons people who, their families just getting by, maybe don't have enough time to spend with their parents because their parents are working to provide and make sure that everything's taken care of at home. You really want to go to a big school, it's kind of on you. You got to get a scholarship because, your parents may not have enough to pay out of pocket and send you to that school of your choice. So the path to success is a lot different for both versions of people. Not saying that one is better than the other or one makes you better than the other, but that's just kind of the gist of No Silver Spoons. No Silver Spoons is basically about my life, how I came to become the man that I am today and earn everything that I have with no handouts.
Mm-hmm.
So
Perfect. And I just want to say, reading this too, I feel like it doesn't matter how you grow up to, like, people make excuses. People are like, I don't have resources, so I'm just going to stay stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of show them you don't have to, I didn't do that. I wanted more for myself. I wanted more for my family. So I'm going to make sure that I, put myself out there to achieve those things. So I think for someone that thinks, because they don't come from, handouts, that they should, just be like, well, this is the life I was given. No, you got to go out and make it. So I love that.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. And there's a chapter in there for that. One of my favorite poems ever is by Tupac Shakur. It's The Rose That Grew from Concrete. And it basically is pinpoint what you just said. It's about not being the victim of your environment, not succumbing to, how you grew up or your situations.
Exactly.
So the poem is about a rose that grew in the middle of concrete. If you see a rose growing from concrete, you're not concerned about its damaged petals or that it doesn't look like a rose, a normal rose. You're more astonished by how the rose even came to grow in the first place. You don't have to be a product of your environment.
Exactly. Yep. Great points.
One of my favorite things is the setting of the book, how it started with the hamster analogy. And that for me, I mean, I can sum it up, or do you want to explain it a little bit?
Talk about it.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that. That's actually in the beginning of the book. It's an analogy that I came up with. So basically, it's about the difference between just working hard and then working hard with intent or purpose. So if there's a hamster on a wheel, just running every single day, it's working hard, but each day it's still at the same point as it started. He runs hard and then he tires himself out, and then the next day it's the same thing. Next day it's the same thing. You're working hard and you're not going anywhere.
You're still on the wheel.
Yeah, you're still on the wheel. Versus a hamster that's working hard with intent. He might be running hard every single day, but he has a purpose for his running hard. So he sets out goals. Each day he wants to get a little bit faster than he was the previous day. And then eventually he's going to get fast enough to the point where he can run so fast that he can tip over the wheel so that he can escape. So he's not stuck.
So he's smart too.
Exactly.
I think that's what it is. It's the mentality,
Yes.
because a lot of people feel stuck in their day to day, and you're going in the same place. You can work hard every single day at the same job, and you will be at that same job working that same way every single day.
The funny thing about that is, if you do work for someone else, something could happen to you tomorrow. They'll replace you. You're replaceable.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to put yourself first. You have to, have multiple streams of income, work on other things. just I feel like that's the same thing with people working at 9 to 5. It's like they wake up, same routine,
Mm-hmm.
same, like nothing changes.
Yeah. And you have to have that mindset to like
Mhm.
be motivated to do something different, or even putting in the same effort but towards something, having a purpose, like you're saying, to work towards that next goal.
Yeah, and I think that like there's this misconception that if you work really hard, that you can get anything that you want in life, and that's true to a degree, but it doesn't acknowledge the fact that some people can work a fraction as hard as you and still get better results.
Mhm.
So you have to work harder than the hardest working person that wants the same exact thing as you.
Another thing you mentioned, I feel like, is manifestation. So,
Hmm.
when you were, getting ready to go to college, you were telling yourself, like, this is where I'm going to go. This is where I'm going to go. You like spoke it into existence. So that's something that, like, even as women, they'll tell you, wake up, look in the mirror, compliment yourself, say 3 nice
Mm-hmm.
things about yourself, and then it's like you build that confidence to start for the day.
Yeah, manifestation is definitely a part. It played a part in my life, and like just affirming things. So I was telling people that I was playing football for Ohio State before I even got on the team, and I just nobody they would look at me like I was crazy. Like it would be like if I walked in here and told you that I seen 8-foot aliens outside before I got in here, you would be looking at me like
Cuckoo.
this motherfucker is on some shit. And that's basically how people were looking at me in high school when I told them I was gonna go play football at Ohio State. Some skinny, scrawny kid, 150 pounds, soaking wet, saying that he's gonna go play football at Ohio State. And if you fast forward, my freshman year,
Yeah.
I'm suiting up to play for
Yeah.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
That
And
was
so-
like my favorite chapter, I think, in your book. It was called Laughing Day, and you kind of made it come full circle. You talked about how everyone's kind of laughing at you when you're putting that out there and saying, this is where you're going. And then by the end of the chapter, you're saying, I guess I had the last laugh, because it's something that you did with that intention and drive. You have such discipline too, that I
Ugh.
must say, it's like you knew that was your goal and you're speaking it into existence, but you're working for it. You were eating 4 times a day, you were training, you were
Yeah.
working out. You're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. You show up and there's 50 other athletes there,
Mhm.
and you're like, but I want it the most. And that's where your like mentality comes into play. You've put in all the work, you're sure of yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely put in the work because not only did I want to prove them wrong, but I wanted to prove myself right. You know, I have 3 younger brothers that, looked up to me. Like I wanted to make my family happy, like my mom, my dad. And, it can be a lot on you, a lot of pressure that you put on yourself. But my biggest motivation was to not let them down and to not go back to Youngstown.
Mhm.
I wanted to do enough for myself that I never had to go back to Youngstown, Ohio,
Yeah.
which is basically like the jungle.
The
You know,
jungle.
I don't want to go back to the jungle. So I did everything in my power. Woke up early. I did the stairs. I lived in a dorm my freshman year. I lived on the 13th floor. Actually, no, a fun fact of this is Jeffrey Dahmer went to Ohio State.
Stop.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
he lived
goodness.
he lived in he lived
Sir.
in a room. He lived in a room that they have locked, like nobody can have the
No
room.
way.
Yeah. And so I lived on the 13th floor.
I would make that a business. I'd be like, listen, I'll sneak you in.
Yeah, we're
That'd be
doing
20
tours
bucks.
in the
Yeah,
Jeffrey
exactly.
Dahmer room.
Crazy. But I think he only went there for like a semester or
Oh,
something
okay.
like that.
Yeah. Oof.
But yeah, so I would run up and down those 13 flights of stairs. I would go to the field, use a parachute, and I just trained every single day. I had 2 good friends, my boy Joe and my boy Mel. They're from Youngstown too, and we went to Ohio State. And like we would work out with me, and it's like when you have people who have similar goals or want similar things, it's a lot easier to get started and stay consistent. So my boy Joe, he wanted to play baseball. I wanted to play football. And then we were both going to try out for our respective sports. So, it's just crazy to think about like how time flies and then,
Yeah.
you do these things.
I would say too, you were saying how like you weren't, you had your goals and yes, you're in college, you're enjoying yourself, but you weren't really a partier. You're still not
Stay
like a club
focused.
person.
Hmm.
And I feel like that was instilled from you in young where you had this. Like you said you never even like tried a drug in your life, not even weed. And I feel did anyone make you feel weird about it? Like how did you handle peer pressure?
Of course, people try to make you feel weird about it. I mean, I'm from an area in Ohio where like the norm was to be smoking when you're like 13, 14 years old,
Wild.
drinking, not going to school. But I've never smoked or done any kind of drug in my life. Truth be told, I didn't really start drinking until I was actually 21, like
Wow.
my late sophomore year or junior year of college. Um, it just didn't align for what I had envisioned for myself in life. Like I was just I wanted to be serious about sports, and I never wanted to do anything that I didn't want my brothers to do.
Set a good
Since they looked
example.
at me,
Hmm.
they looked at me like, what do I look like smoking, doing drugs? And then I
Mhm.
got my younger brothers looking up to me like, oh, like that's the cool thing to do. It was people around me doing all of that stuff, but I
Hmm.
just never had the desire to it, and there was nothing that they could say. Even to this day, there's nothing that anybody can say to make me want to do that, because like at the end of the day, the same thing still applies. I don't want to do anything that I don't want my younger brothers to do, and I don't want to do anything that I don't want my future kids to do.
Mhm.
Like I don't want my kids to be like, oh, like I can smoke, dad smoke,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Set a good
Or
example.
No,
do
for
anything. I'm
sure.
not saying that there's anything wrong with that. To each his own.
Hmm.
Like you can do what you want to do what makes you happy, but it just doesn't align with my lifestyle.
I
So
mean, yeah. I mean, if you started like smoking or something, that gym would be kind. You'll get the munchies. Like it just would not,
No, it
align with your
doesn't.
goals.
It doesn't work out. And then
Yeah.
your brothers kind of followed suit too. So you did set that example, aren't they? They all play sports and
Hmm.
one of them is extremely smart.
yeah, my youngest
They're
brother
also gifted. I
is
cannot.
like
Ah,
super smart.
well, they
He's
had
like
a great role
valedictorian.
model.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lucky family. I feel like a lot of your mindset comes down to like this theme of confidence that you have. Where do you think that comes from?
So confidence, it definitely isn't like put through overnight. Like it doesn't happen overnight. Confidence, as a man, at least I can speak for myself, it comes from repeated successful actions or repeated positive feedback from other people. So think of it like this. There's two analogies. If you're a man and you walk into Target, and every time you walk into Target, three women come up and tell you that you're handsome, you're going to start to believe that you're handsome. If you're a woman and every time you go to the gym and you do your hip thrust, like girls come up and say, oh, girl, like, how did you get that butt? Blah, blah, blah. Like, teach me your way. You're going to start to think that, oh, like, maybe I do have a really nice butt. Like, and then you start to become more confident
Hmm.
in everything that you do, or into your respective thing. Does that make sense? So,
Mhm.
I guess confidence in my life came from, every time I went to the gym, guys would be like, damn, man, goals, man. What do you do? What do you eat? How do you train? What's your split like that? And just having that repeated positive feedback from other people, and then also seeing it in myself, seeing, you know, damn, like I'm not Mike Tyson by any means, but it's not like I'm just gonna go into a room and then somebody's gonna be like, oh, I want to fuck with that dude,
Yeah.
So like I don't get into confrontations. I'm not I don't go out and seek that, but I'm confident in myself to know that I'll be able to handle a situation if it happened.
I feel like a lot of, these achievements that you've had in the gym in your career come down to like this strict routine, this no excuses mindset. No matter how little time you have in your day, like that's a priority for you and that's what you do. What kind of advice do you have for somebody who has, you know, who's struggling to keep up with a routine?
That's a really good question. Definitely journal, write things down, especially if you have a big goal. Write your goal down, put it somewhere that you can see it every single day, so it can remind you of it. Especially if it's if you have other goals, just write down all of your goals and then prioritize them in importance. Put the higher priority ones first, and then as you knock off your goals, just check them off like a box.
Yeah. And I feel like those visual cues are important, like you were
Mhm.
saying before. to just see something every day.
Mhm.
And we talk a lot about manifestation and like the principle of like actually saying it in the present, like you already have it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something that I learned in researching manifestation is you shouldn't say things in a negative way. So if you're saying like, I won't have bills, I won't have bills, I won't have bills, your mind is going bills, bills, bills.
Mhm.
You want to say, I'm financially well off. I have more money than I know what to do with. I'm comfortable. Not, I'm going to be late. I'm going to be late. I'm going to be on time. That's how you say it, like in a positive way.
Mhm.
And to say something like you already have it and express gratitude for it, I feel like that's something that I learned in trying to maintain positivity.
So one thing I learned in therapy, which is kind of similar, is if I'm like frustrated with someone or like my partner, I will write down like,
Oh,
I need to be
Danny.
patient. I'll be like, you know, I'm like, because I know I
It's okay,
can go
Tre's
from
here
like
to
0 to
vouch.
100. So I will write down. So instead of like lashing out, I'll be like, be patient, be patient. I'll like write it, you know, and then like I get to a point where it like calms me.
And
I'm like,
text me.
yeah. First I'll complain to you, then I'm like, okay, talk myself off a ledge, and because I know like it'll be something so stupid,
Yeah.
like so stupid, like you didn't rinse off a dish before putting it in the dishwasher, and I'm like, patience, 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 and it helps, you know, because
Yeah.
then I'm just like, you know, instead of me being a see you next Tuesday
Yeah.
out loud,
Yeah.
I just journal, and then I'm
You
like,
see what's important.
okay, yes, and then I'm like, I feel I'm good again.
I feel like something too that you always say, like relationship wise, is like to kind of have a list of things that are like, these are my non-negotiables. And then there's these things that I may not like, but it's okay because no one's perfect and we're learning each other
Exactly.
and things like that. So you see what you are and aren't willing to deal with.
Don't ever make a pros and cons list on someone, because then
You
if the cons
are
list is
the
very
worst.
long, you're like, and I'm like, I only like 3 things about you, and then the cons list is like that.
She sent me a list one time, way before Danny we love you. And it had
I
some
shared
stuff.
it with
I'm
you.
pretty sure one of them
Man.
was like the guy just like farting all the time, and I
That's
was like,
crazy.
I remember this list because I'm like,
The list
didn't bring
was
my luggage
long.
in. I had to take my own luggage
Man.
out the car. I was just
Honestly,
I
though, if you have to
can't.
do a pros and cons list, I think it's time.
yeah.
Time to
So
hang
It's
it up.
already your
yeah.
sign.
It's not like you said. It has to be like a positive list. You know, if it's negative, then I'm already like, I can say more bad things. Like, what is it? It's just
This actually one of your favorite chapters that you had pointed out earlier was about love languages.
yes.
We should talk about
Yes,
that.
I would love to like know people's love languages too. That's so
Hmm.
big. And another thing you mentioned is communication. Like no one's a mind reader. Like I think you need to tell people how you like to be loved. I don't think people should assume, because otherwise they love you the way they like to be loved, which I don't think is always right. Like I'm always like, these are my love languages. This is the list. Like for me, physical touch is first, and that to me is like holding hands. Like I like smother the person I'm with. I'm like, they'll try and sleep, and I like have to have like a foot on you, and they're like, you're so hot, get off me. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like I'm just. And then my second, I would say, is quality time, which I think is very similar. Like I feel like time is so valuable, and I just want to spend all my time with someone, and I want them to spend time with
Yes,
me,
you
because then
do.
it's like it's a huge thing. And I feel like everything else, like acts of service, may be third, but all the others, like gifts, I don't care about gifts at all. That means absolutely nothing to me.
Yeah, same.
But those are I would say my top
My
two.
number one is definitely words of affirmation.
Okay.
Need. And then physical touch and quality time.
Okay.
Those are my 3. So there's physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service,
And gifts.
and gifts. So what
Yeah.
would you say are some of yours?
I would have to say quality time and physical touch. Probably my favorites. Actually, yeah, I did write a chapter in there, and it is important to understand the best love type for your partner, because I did reference in there, it's like if you constantly buy gifts as a way to, you know, get your partner's love, and but you're not spending time with them, you're missing a disconnect, or you're creating a disconnect if their love language is quality time. You know, so if I have a job and I'm a pilot, or I'm riding trucks and I'm always out, you know, on the road or not there, but my partner's love language is quality time, then, you know, I think I might be doing something by buying her gifts, you know, to show her my love. But there's an emotional disconnect if her love language is quality time.
Yep, she'll get resentful, and just it won't work out. So yeah, I think if quality time. You better not date no pilot. Like, there's no way that's
Yeah.
gonna, but some women like the space. Some women are like, I mean, I think Paige, her and Craig are super distant. It's a
Yeah.
TV show.
Oh, I was about to say.
Reality
Yeah,
show.
reality show. But she lives in New York and he lives in the Carolinas, so they just don't see each other often. But they're happy. I mean, I know
Yeah.
he wants to see her more, but
Yes.
she's okay with like the.
She's just like,
yeah.
I'm good in my little New York City.
I think he lives in the Carolinas, right? Where does
Yeah,
he
he
live?
lives in like Charlotte, I
Oh,
think,
Charlotte,
or something,
okay.
or Charleston.
Charleston. Okay, yes,
That's where he
okay,
lives.
yeah.
Yes, but I mean, it's whatever works. Like, and whoever you're dating, like that's what it is. It's just about communication and learning each other, and it's never going to be perfect.
Oh, when I date someone, the first thing I ask them is like, what are your love languages? Because I need
Yeah.
to know I can provide it. Like,
Yeah.
I need to know that, I can give you that.
Yeah. One of the chapters that was super deep and I feel like a vulnerable one for you, it was called You're Insane, and like the concept of insanity. Can you kind of just talk through that chapter a little bit for us?
Yeah. So that chapter did actually hit pretty deep because it like talks about low points in my life. So I don't know if you know, but there's multiple definitions of insanity. A very popular one is by Albert Einstein, and his definition of insanity was repeatedly doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Mm-hmm.
And
That can make you crazy.
yeah, and I found myself doing that. So I was like, right from the show, you taking everything in, all the attention. Then
Overnight.
and then you have like the societal norms and expectations coming on to you, and then you have to live up to it. And they're like, okay, what's the next show you're gonna do? What's the next project you're gonna do? And then like you become like a victim of keeping up with these false realities that social media creates. It's like, okay, so social media is telling me I need to make this much, I need to have this kind of car, I need to have this kind of house, I need to be with these kind of people and have them as my friends, and I just need to be accepted by everybody, when deep down inside that's not who I am. This is not the genuine humble guy from Ohio. I was becoming like somebody that's almost irrecognizable.
Yeah, one of the things you specifically said was trying to be someone you're not. And I feel like we all can relate to that. We all fall into the social media freaking hole.
Yeah.
So when I was reading that chapter, I was like, oh, super relatable.
Yeah, it's like looking into the mirror and then you seeing somebody who's not Amanda.
Yeah.
Or looking into the mirror and you see somebody who's not Alina.
I feel like that's an example of a time that like really shook you, because you were really like steadfast in your mindset from young, and you were like, no, I'm not doing drugs, and this is my path, and this is where I'm going to school, and these are the things. And then it's like it's a tough thing, because you were on a show that also, what's unconventional about Love Island is that it's kind of airing live. So it's not like you come home, you debrief, or like you're preparing episode by episode each week of what's happening. It's happening in real time, and then you get home, and then everybody knows who you are, and you're like flooded with all these new expectations and things, and you kind of lose yourself a little bit. And I feel like your mindset and your mentality has always been so strong, and that was like one of the times where you really had to like reflect and learn from it and move past that time.
Yeah, and people don't realize like that's during that time you don't have your phone the entire time, so you don't know what's going on in the outside world. You have people trying to contact you, and then like you don't know what's going on social media. So it's like almost 2 months that I didn't have my phone, and or however long it was, and it's just like then once you get done with it, you get your phone, and then everything's changed just right then and there. So you go from having this isolated like person to person like contact, and everybody creates camaraderie, and your friends, and you're having no idea of like technology or what time it is. You're just living present in that moment, and then to go from that right back out to reality, the real life,
You're like
where
on a world stage when all that was happening.
a lot different for them.
And you also talk about like isolation, like what's too much isolation, like what does that look like? I think another thing too with everything you've been through too is like everyone goes through this. You can change just by the people you hang out with. You are who you chill with. I do believe that 100%. Like you hang out with people that like to party, you're gonna party. And if you get to a chapter of your life where you don't like to do that anymore, some friendships, you love them from a distance. So that's kind of something that, I feel like with everything coming back home and things being so different, and then not knowing if people want to be your friend because they generally like you, or they like the image of you, like, of what they expect it to be. So that's, I don't know how you dealt with that, but God bless you.
Yeah.
But I feel like you turned out great.
Yeah.
He did all right.
You're no Harry, that's for sure.
There's
No.
this thing, and it's like you are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. And like I pride myself on hanging out with people who are like-minded as far as fit. We're working hard, we have jobs, we have aspirations and dreams that we're chasing, and we're, for the most part, we're living like healthy lives, like we're not doing drugs or like going to the club every weekend. Like that's it. When you surround yourself with people like that, you can only go up higher.
Yes.
Like, you put yourself in less situations. It's like putting a whole bunch of things into a hat. So if you put a whole bunch of blue colors or blue strips into a hat, it increases your chance when you dig into the hat, you pull out something blue, but if you just put in a whole bunch of bad stuff into the hat, it increases your chances of pulling out something bad. So you just increase your chances of going down the wrong path if you surround yourself with people who are already down there.
Yes, they're like pushing you to do better. You want to get to where they are. And the thing with that too is you don't want it to be competition. You want it to be like a healthy competition where it's like, I'm rooting for you. I'm happy you're doing that. So that's another thing too. I feel like there's some people that are in those circles where it's like a competition. It's not true friendship. It's like, you got a brand new car. I'm going to up one and get like 2 brand new cars, So I feel like having that. And another chapter that you mentioned that I loved was It Must Be Nice. Because we have no bad bone in our body. I feel like it's more, you mentioned this too, like it's more energy to be mean. Like to go out of your way to put thought into being mean drains you. Being nice is so easy. It costs you nothing. So I loved reading that chapter. So I'm just like, yep, I'm a sweetheart and I won't change who I am. I won't be mean. No one's going to make me be mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I like you, but I won't be mean.
You're saucy and spicy, but you have a heart of gold.
I'll cry.
I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm just this saint of a human being, because I'm not, but I definitely am nice to people, especially people who I don't know. I mean, you never know like what people are going through or like if they're going to be on the boiling point and then you're just right there to tip them over finally, Just, the song, Don't Push Me, 'cause I'm close to the edge. It's like that. So you never know what people are. You just never know what people are going through. So it's like that little compliment that you give them, like, hey, like, nice shirt or nice shoes, or hey, man, I see you putting in workout. Like, just even if you say something to a random person at the gym, you're like, hey, man, like, I see you coming in here every day. Like, you're staying consistent. You looking better than you were like last time when I seen you. Like, keep it up.
Could have made their day.
Exactly. And then I can make them want to go even harder. Honestly, my best friends that I've made have been in the gym. Like, seriously. Like,
See, I'm the opposite. I'm like, don't talk to me.
Because you moved here too from Ohio. You knew one person when you came here, right?
Yeah, and then that was my best friend, Triumph. We were roommates in Orlando when I first moved to Orlando. And then I had the gym or my boutique training studio. I was doing really well. Then I felt like it was a better opportunity for me to move down to Boca. So I moved down to Boca where I didn't know anybody. So that was like a big move for me. And then most of the people I met were honestly at the gym.
Yeah, you're there all the time. It's like your second home.
But that makes sense. You're surrounding yourself with like-minded people.
Yes.
Amanda and I, she came from New York. I came from Jersey. We literally met on Bumble BFF, which is the best swipe right of my life.
Same.
But
Sorry, Danny.
this podcast was born out of us being a part of a book club because of that. And look what we made.
And we're like 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah, so we are. And we
You're a little
balance
nicer
each
than me,
other
though.
well. No, but we have different perspectives in that. It's funny, but like
You're like a girl's girl, and I'm like, I don't like all girls. I can't stand some of them.
And then I'm like, yes, you do. You're fine.
You're like, you probably just don't like her voice.
Amanda, we are diagnosing her.
I told my VP, I'm like, I recently learned that I have a thing for voices.
It's called like phonophobia or something, misophonia.
What?
So now my VP will be like, did you like that person's voice? I'm like, I plead the fifth.
There's something about like a voice to her that like it'll make her not be able to like stand that person.
Like valley voices?
Wow.
I'm diagnosing
I can't
her.
do it.
And I have a valley voice.
I don't
I'm
think you
trying
do.
to tell her.
No, I wouldn't say that you have.
You
Really?
don't. You
Nah.
don't.
Oh,
You have a
okay.
sweet voice. Like you sound so sweet, but it's not like, oh my God.
She cannot stand like girls who sound fake. If they sound fake, especially Amanda's from New York. she's not used to it. Like I feel like girls
And then
there,
when I like a voice,
girls
you're
there,
like,
they
she
have deep
sounds
voices.
tough. Yeah.
Every time she's like,
That's
I love her
funny.
voice. I'm like, that sounds like a man.
Yeah,
Bitch.
every time. I'm like, I could tell she take no
You
shit.
really like even
Yeah.
if we're watching a show and it's the gem of the show and everyone loves her, but like her voice is too like, oh my god, like she's like, nah, I can't stand her.
I'm like, I had to unfollow that.
I
I just don't like those voices that it's like.
Yeah, like
I'm like,
Yes, like they think it's cute to sound
Yeah.
dumb.
I think that's fun. Like,
I hate
think
when a
that's
girl
super
dumps
annoying.
it up
That's super
for a
annoying.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if
Yeah.
you dumb it up for a man. Oh, I
Would you
cannot
ever?
stand that. No, are
no.
you kidding me?
I'm gonna tell
if
you.
I'm
you didn't
dumb, I'm
change that
really
tire
dumb for
right.
real. If
Wait,
I'm-
all right. Question.
Okay.
Do you like my voice?
I love your voice.
I mean, I would hope so.
It was like the
Are
yeah.
you flirting
Are we
with
having
me?
a moment?
Are you flirting
Should I
with
leave
me?
the room?
The real
she-
people know what's happening here.
Is she flirting with me?
On a scale
I
of 1
will
to 10.
say,
She just
might
said
have
she
met
likes
this
my
man
voice.
outside of the podcast. Might know him on another level. You guys can do your
She-
research
She
online.
she likes my voice. She's flirting with
Am
me.
I
Love
hitting
Linda
on the?
blushing over there.
Am I hitting on the
Yeah.
client?
Keep it
I think
professional,
something-
please.
I have a man. I'm
No, just-
basically
just read
married.
in the book,
That's
she
what we say.
fell
Just
more
so
in
you
love.
know. Just so you know, we always tell people like we're married.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Work
it.
wife.
We good.
Mm.
Like it's it.
Mm.
But yeah.
But I'm your work wife, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
No,
good.
I just meant we say like with a like.
Oh, yeah, we're basically
We
married.
always tell people like
Yeah,
we're out.
yeah.
Don't even look at
Yeah.
us. That's it.
I'm like, what? Half married.
No.
Almost there.
Another part we have to mention. You have these poems in your book.
Oh,
What perhaps my favorite part, like it just elevates it to another level. One of my favorites. I love the social media one. I love the one about butterflies. That concept of butterflies.
I'm reading my favorite one.
I literally, yeah, you should. I have this thing with butterflies that there's nothing in a butterfly. I don't know if you,
You
know
love
this.
butterflies, yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing in a butterfly that tells you. I mean, there's nothing in a caterpillar that tells you it's going to be a butterfly. So genetically, you can study a
Ugh.
caterpillar and you do not know that that
It's-
caterpillar is going to become a butterfly.
It's beautiful.
And the caterpillar goes into this cocoon. It's in total darkness and it thinks it's dying.
Dying, yeah.
And then it emerges this beautiful
Ugh.
butterfly.
I wonder if they have the same
concept
mind.
Is just
Or just like a random person.
Let's not get into
Okay.
caterpillar and butterfly brains. But what is your favorite chapter or poem?
Mine is create a masterpiece.
Go ahead, read it.
Okay.
In your best voice.
Yeah, impersonate me. How would I read?
No.
Like a
just wanna-
sculpture with clay, molding each day. Boom. A routine takes shape in a disciplined way. With each purposeful task, a masterpiece revealed. In the canvas of life, success is unreeled.
Mm.
You orchestrate whether your act will be bald and brass or belongs in the trash.
Love.
I love that.
Honestly, like
Beautiful.
this stigma too, I will say, like as an athlete, as a reality star, to be like a poet and a writer, like this was really well done. Like
Mhm.
we are touched by this book. We're motivated by this book, and it's so well written.
Mhm. The title, everything. It's
What's your favorite poem?
I have two favorite poems. The Black Rose and then the butterfly one was two. Because that was it. I feel
Look
like
at
that
us.
was. It's hard for me to pick which chapter was my favorite, but I think writing the poems, it was something different. Like I haven't seen that in a book before, especially one of those self-help or mindset books. So
It's a beautiful way to end a chapter for sure.
yeah, to sum up everything, the Black Rose is like definitely one of my favorites. So
Give it to us.
Yeah.
all right, the Black Rose. In the garden of conformity, he stood apart, a lone rose, blooming with the rebel's heart. Despite the thorns of expectations hold, he blossomed freely, unable to fold. He always knew he was different, a black rose in a red garden. That was
So good. I have
definitely-
chills. I literally have
I know. I was
chills.
ready. Like,
There's so, are you gonna write another book?
Yeah.
what
most
is
likely.
next for Tre Tribe?
Yeah.
That's a good question right now.
He does
Um,
so very many things.
I know. I'm like, I can call him Tre Tre, okay?
Yeah,
In case
of
people are like,
course.
what?
Friend of show.
yeah. I definitely do see myself writing another book in the future.
Oh, I think every time you have a new chapter in your life, you just gotta like poem it up with us.
Yes. Do
Everything.
a poem book in between your next
Yeah.
like novel.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, I love that. I
I
mean,
love
your poetry's
poems.
amazing.
It gives me peace, you know.
Oh.
And you write music too.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just like, you know, it gives,
Can you sing?
No, I can't
Okay.
sing.
I was
I
excited.
look like a singer.
I don't know. Yeah, you could do
He's
it
like,
all. Why?
He's like, I'm a rapper.
Yeah,
Oh,
rapper.
I'm
Come on,
sorry.
I'm dark skinned.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dark skinned rap.
I'm
No,
sorry.
but he can sing too.
You spit those.
You can
Dark-
definitely
dark
sing
skin.
too. Don't even
Dark skins
play.
rap. All right, dark skin. I rap.
We're gonna
I'll
make a
sing.
song.
I should know. When
okay?
you said you liked
I'll
Tupac,
sing, yeah,
that was
come
my
on.
fault. And Tupac
He
is
kind of
very
looks.
poetic.
Doesn't he have a little
Thug life.
Tupac in him? Oh,
Just
here we
need a
go.
little.
It's thug life. Or, ain't no
He's a
singing
little
shit around here.
bandana.
Ain't no singing shit around here. Thug.
I'm dead.
What do you mean by that?
We should okay, so is there anything else that you really want to I want to end with like a fun little segment, but is there anything else from this book that you want to mention? I mean, we are
Oh,
so
tell
proud
people
of
where they
you.
can find it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Definitely go to Amazon
Go
or go to
Amazon.
Goodreads.
Run.
Go to Amazon.
Add to cart.
Add to
Or go.
fucking cart.
To Goodreads.
There's a hardcover now too. It's coming on
Yes.
Kindle. Or on audio, rather. Is it coming on Kindle?
So it's gonna be on audio.
If you need me to do
the
the
audio
audio
is coming.
version, I got you.
I don't think that'll work.
No? Okay.
So all you gotta do is go to Amazon, type in "no silver spoons," or you can type in Tre Forte, and then it'll pop up. Then add that to your cart, and
Yes.
if you do like it, make sure you add a review. You can also follow the IG for the No Silver Spoons book. So
And at TGI Forte on Instagram. Shop Leo Core for his fitness merch. Give us a little fitness tip. Like, what would you say for somebody who's like trying to embark on their journey or like struggling to get past a plateau? Like, we need music. We need some drinks. Look at you. vibing.
1%. That's like my motto. 1%. If you get 1% better each day, it adds up over time. So like Apple's smart. Like the iPhones, it shows you like your pictures from a year ago today. And then
Oh,
like
cringe.
like I know. like-
I know.
Like even if
Don't
you,
even get me started with Facebook memories.
So
Oh.
like I'll take post workout pictures, and like even if you don't post it, if you just have it for yourself,
Mhm.
like that's good for you because Apple will show you like, oh, like a year ago today, this is what you look like. And then if you take a picture like present day, you can compare the two, and you're like, wow, like those 1% did add up. So I think that's a good thing. So if you just take it one day at a time and try to get better than what you were yesterday, and then also take pictures post workout, you don't have to post it. You can just keep it for yourself, but just have that as a progress,
Yeah.
a collection, so you can have something to compare it to.
What if-
Yeah.
What about eating? I feel like working out is so easy for me. I love going to the gym.
Yeah.
You
She's
know
a
what?
gym
My
rat.
motivation is the outfits. Like I wear a cute gym outfit.
100%.
I'm excited to go.
I was about to say
Yes,
that.
my little high socks. Like I'm with it. But then like I get home and I'm like, oh, I want Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And I don't get the grilled
But you
nuggets.
tiny, it's going to the right place. You're working out hard.
So I definitely have my cheat meals. It's just a matter of what you eat, when you eat it.
Okay.
So, and honestly, some people don't eat enough. So when you don't eat enough, you don't refuel your body, and your body gets confused as to
Talking to someone?
like how to use those calories, because it's confused onto like, okay, when are we gonna get another meal? So it's like when you eat, you can eat a lot, but just make sure that you're eating the right proportions of carbs, proteins, veggies, you know.
So you keep
You gotta
And
find
you
what
do,
works for you.
you do that too, though,
Yeah.
right? Like you'll
Yeah.
help people with a meal plan or a fitness plan. Like
Yeah.
if they find you, they can come to you for
Yep.
those types of services.
You can literally hit me up on IG, DM me, get fit, and then I'll have a quick 15-minute consultation with you to figure out what your goals are. Then I can make a workout plan for you or a nutrition plan.
You heard it here. Hit them up.
Yes. I will say too, like I hate when people are like, oh my God, when girls wear makeup at the gym, or they like, I want to feel good about myself. First of
Oh,
all,
yeah.
there's a whole study around like the mind muscle connection. Like when you're working out in front of a mirror and you're looking at yourself, like you want to feel good, like put something cute on, motivate yourself. For
Yes.
me, when I feel like I look good at the gym, then my workout is 10 times better.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So everyone can go to hell who says that.
And I just wanna
It's
say,
like,
since-
oh my God, why are you wearing makeup? Bitch, you a hater. You
Since-
are not my friend.
Since we're talking about the gym,
Yeah.
listen BITCHs.
Okay. Let them know.
Don't be sitting on the machine on your phone for 20 minutes. I listen. I'm a big believer. I like to lift heavy and then rest.
Yeah.
I will, but I'm not going to be on my phone and like being considerate.
Or
you know,
ignoring,
someone's
just don't
waiting.
ignore the person waiting. Be like, hey, sorry, I have 2 more sets. Or like, sometimes you have to interject too and be
See,
like,
I'm
how
too
many more
nice.
you
I'm
got?
too nice. I'm like, I guess I'm not doing this workout today.
Yeah, I went to the gym and these two women pissed me off.
Let's see.
I didn't
We
say
can
it.
talk shit. You
I
can't.
didn't say it. These two women fucking pissed me off because they were taking up 3 benches.
Oh.
2 girls
Oh, no,
taking
no,
up 3
no.
benches.
2 girls, 1 cup.
One were using they each were using 1 bench for themselves when they were doing the same
Thing,
exercise,
yeah.
and then they had a 3rd bench for their phones in their bags.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I went
No.
up and I was like, "Hey, like, are you guys using this bench?" And then she said in like a bitchy voice, she was like, "Yeah, we're using that." I'm like, "Damn, like."
Yeah.
Oh my
or
God,
let
that's so
somebody
nice.
oh,
Sorry.
hey,
Yeah, I
we're
would
doing
never,
this on
yeah.
this bench. You can do that. We can rotate anything.
Sorry, I didn't know that your fucking bags and your phones were hitting sets on this
Listen,
fucking
you call
bench
Amanda,
over
she
here.
will go there and be like, "Move your shit."
But you know what?
He's
Just like,
done that when
no,
we're at the
got
gym. When we're at the gym and I'm just like standing there for a while, he'll go up to like whoever's on the machine and be like, "Hey, like, do you have like how much more do you got?" Like,
Yeah,
and
what
he'll
are
just
they-
point
yeah,
at me.
Yeah, if it's a guy, I would be more like, "Meh, I'm not gonna bother you." But if it's a girl, I'm like, I got no problem.
Like,
telling
what
you
are
to
they gonna do?
move your
Beat
shit.
my ass because I fucking asked them how many sets they have left?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Also, that puts a little pressure on them. Like, okay,
I
like,
stay away
maybe I
from the
should
people
stop.
that look
Yeah.
like Juice has to. I'm like, I don't want to
Yeah.
make you mad.
Yeah, you never know.
never know.
One time I went to a gym and like some guy literally threw my dumbbell off the bench because I was going to get another weight. And it like almost like hit me like towards me, like so mad.
aggressive.
I'm like, "Are you well?" And he
Probably
was
not.
like probably like
Juiced
50
up.
years old.
Yeah.
Like, get a grip, grow up. Anyways,
Anyways,
Gym
no
Chronicles.
more gym. Could do a whole episode on this.
I know, honestly. The last thing from your book, drop your smoothie recipe. Like, what's the key?
And
Let
can I
let
can
us
I
know.
and
Spit
can I
for
get
us
this
real
at a
quick.
store like pre-made already?
Spit for us real quick, okay? Because I heard you're the smoothie master, and I just I just want to know. Okay, go ahead.
Smoothie recipe
Oof.
is
A
little bit of almond milk, maybe about a
Okay.
cup and a half,
Okay.
3 scoops of Greek yogurt,
You like Greek?
Okay.
uh, 2 scoops 2 scoops of protein, 1 scoop of creatine,
For the men?
magnesium. Women can take creatine too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I take
It's
creatine.
very, very beneficial for you.
Mhm.
Beside the point, that's another
Yeah,
episode.
no, okay.
Kale or spinach, handful of blueberries, handful of strawberries, kiwi, 1 full banana,
Kiwi.
I love kiwi. I had one this morning.
and
Kiwi
then
is
blend
key.
it up. And then
Do you
that's it.
deliver? Do you make and deliver?
Yeah. The next project. The next project.
After you said 3 ingredients, I was like, I'm done.
So it's
good
fruits,
for you, though.
Yeah.
your greens, and your supplements.
Yeah, everything sounds great.
Greek
in it.
yogurt,
I
it
love
makes
the
it thicker.
magnesium,
Almond
creatine.
milk,
Mhm.
you know, it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, some
It's
good
good for you.
things. Yeah.
Okay, let's end with
All right.
with something fun. This
A
is
little
our
fun.
segment. Do you want to hit that red one for us? Okay. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
Wow, that's an
Yes,
interesting
you are.
title.
No.
Interesting title.
Okay, let's do it. So these are submissions
All right.
to
Trey, you go first.
the official Am I the asshole? Well, I'll read the I'll read the prompt. Let me find it.
I have so
Are
many.
you going to
thoughts.
give us a musical interlude? Where did it go? I just saved
And I just want to say
Oh, I
thank
got
you,
it.
Trey, for coming on.
Ah, beyond. Well, we'll do that again at the end, but you know.
Okay.
Oh, bring it back. Okay. So here we go. Am I the asshole for suggesting a threesome to my date who brought a friend along and expected me to pay? Here is how it went down. I've been talking to Denise for a couple of weeks, and our schedules finally aligned last weekend. I said we should get food and see where it goes. She didn't want me to pick her up, so we arranged to meet up. I got there early and had a beer while I waited. When she showed up, she had a friend along. I thought maybe that was her ride, or she wanted someone to meet me in case things got sketchy. Nope, the girl sat with us at the restaurant. She ordered drinks and a meal. She was cool, and I enjoyed talking to her almost as much as with Denise. When the bill came, the waitress asked how we were paying. I asked for a couple of seconds. The waitress left, and I asked Denise what was going on. She said that her friend was along to make sure I was a good guy and that I should be paying for her too. I said that I had only asked her out and not the friend, and that I would be paying for her. Denise said that I should be trying to impress her, and I was failing. I saw what was going on and decided to bounce. Go ahead, King. I said that I would pay for supper if a threesome was on the table. Denise and her friend got offended and said that I was a pig. When the waitress came back, I paid for my meal and drinks. I also made sure to give her a cash tip and explained that it was a tip and not meant to be applied to the rest of the bill. Then I got up and left. Denise texted and called me dozens of times to insult me and call me cheap. I may have been vulgar, but I don't think I was in the wrong. Am I the asshole?
I just want to say,
Yeah, man.
You
Hey,
did
good
good.
for him, man. Good for him. I was getting more excited.
What do you mean by that?
I was getting more and more excited the more the story went on, man.
Yeah.
Good for him,
Yep.
honestly. Look, I get the whole safety thing. Like, if you want to bring your friend, to just make sure it's okay, everything checks out. He is who he says he is. But then leave. You know,
Mhm.
like what? This isn't a date with both of y'all, and if it is, then I am entitled for a threesome. You know, to at least ask for it.
I think it was like also just like an obnoxious, like even if he wasn't fully serious, he had every right to be like, oh, okay, well then are we all doing something? Because what am I paying for you for?
Exactly.
I think like he's totally in the right. I think that was so obnoxious. Like even we as women, we've gone through this. What we do is we share a location. Hey, this is the guy. Here's a photo. Here's his name. Here's my location. We're all grown. And if you want somebody to be in the general area, like if you're at a restaurant in a plaza and your friend's shopping around next door and whatever, and you're good, and you know she checks in when she's leaving, that's fine. Or even if I even think if she were to come in with you and say hello, that's fucking weird, to be honest. But these women were trying to pull one over on this guy.
Yep.
And that's so fucking wild.
They're trying to get a nice little free meal. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
my thoughts. So he's not in the wrong. He is not an asshole.
No.
She's a see you next Tuesday.
Yes.
Her friends would see you next
She
Tuesday
a-
too.
she a
They
thought.
should just date each other.
Yeah.
But
They're
my
playing
thing
the
is
game.
for safety.
What
What is?
What do you mean by that?
what's the see you next Tuesday? I never heard of that one. Oh,
Is it though?
I didn't know. Wow. Oh shit! I never heard that before. Yo, that's clever. That's clever.
I didn't think
Hey,
of
I gotta
it.
give you that.
It's
I gotta
it's
give you
known
that.
out there.
Yeah, it's
I
in the
didn't know that.
community.
Yeah, it's in the
I didn't know that. I did not know that. That's the first time I heard that one.
So
Yeah.
I get the safety thing. I think it's hard out here in these streets for these women.
Don't,
loves
he's
it.
saving that.
I
He's
know.
like, that's going to be in my next book.
Yeah, it's a nice way to say. And I said it a few times, so the whole time you're probably like, "What is she
a
talking
ho-
about?"
we like to say on the show, she a ho-ho.
Yeah, ho ho, yeah.
We always call them the ho-hos.
So, okay, say you're have anxiety. You're a very weird person, but you deserve love like everyone else. Your friend can sit at another table. She could be a creep sitting somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
You
Or
don't even
pay
have
for
to
your own
introduce
meal.
her or
She's
act
not
like
fucking
she's your
sitting
friend.
at the
Yeah.
fucking dinner table with us.
And he was very
Yo.
nice. I would have been like, I'm sorry. I would have
would've-
dipped then and there.
100%.
I would say, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. And he's like, but I was feeling them both. And I was like, wait, time out.
People on here too are like,
He's not in the
even
wrong.
as a woman, I'm not offended by this. Like,
Yeah.
that, like they
Yeah.
should be embarrassed.
Embarrassed. You're
Yeah.
a grown ass woman. You pay for your friend's
Yeah,
meal.
that's
your
so
friend paid for her own meal.
embarrassing.
I would be horrified.
That's something Amanda and I talk about that too, like just being in this area, the way that women are in their attitude, like in the Miami area,
Ugh.
is something else.
so entitled.
Like, I joined Facebook groups when I moved here, and the things that the girls say, like about meeting guys and this and that, and they're like, "Girl, just get a sugar daddy," and I'm like, I cannot stand the people around
Yeah,
here.
that's crazy.
Oh, girls that go out for meals. It's like,
But
got my
yeah,
whole meal set up for the week.
It's
he,
like
he shouldn't
yeah,
have
like,
stayed in that.
It's like girls who like do the whole OnlyFans and
Ugh.
like sugar daddy stuff. Is just like.
So is that why you moved to Orlando first and then Boca?
No family morals, no care about
Yeah.
disappointing their dad or their mom or their family. Like I'm just thinking like
How do you even
how
bring
the
a
fuck
girl
are
like
the-
that home?
I'm like, how the fuck are those Thanksgiving dinners? Like
Is she making her rounds though at the different men's?
Did you guys
places?
hear
Nah.
about that one girl that she said she found out that like her stepdad
Was watching her only. He was subscribed.
sending her like thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
Crazy.
That is. No.
Ugh.
But
yikes.
in those situations too, like there are a lot of moms who like still defend those men that they're with, and that to me is wild. Like that's your daughter. Like you gotta go.
I'd see red.
Yeah.
I would see red.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's the one that
Without going down OnlyFans rabbit
yeah,
hole. But,
literally.
to each their own, by the way.
Yes.
I don't care what you do with your life.
Yes.
It's on you.
These are all the disclaimers because we often
Yeah,
get canceled.
Can we get canceled? Yeah. It'll be like, I don't even show
You're like, but
nothing.
you're nice, you're pretty. Go ahead, girl. Fuck it up, sis.
Make that money.
Yeah.
Make
it.
I can't do it.
Just
but you
not
can.
us, though.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, it has been quite the time. Thank you for putting up with us. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing all your wisdom. Your book is amazing. Hold it up for the camera. No silver spoons. Trey, what an honor. You are welcome here anytime. Did you have a good time with us?
yeah, I had a great time. And
Yes.
I think
Will you be
it's-
back?
I think that it's probably about time for you to get back in the kitchen.
Oh, we can get this out. Women belong in the kitchen, you guys. Okay,
I don't
just
mind
know
cooking.
that. I got to run back. Run it back real quick.
Yes,
Gotta feed.
I have to, but in order for me to like effectively say that,
Mm-hmm.
I have to be in a position where you don't have to work anymore.
Yeah,
so
that's
you can
right.
focus.
That's
So in order for me
Whew. Clip
to
this, Austin.
no, don't clip this, Austin. Don't clip this, Austin.
Let the men know.
Don't clip this, Austin. Don't clip this, Austin. Do not clip this,
He
Austin.
won't. He won't.
But,
He won't.
No. So like, I am a little bit more traditional. I am somebody who would prefer my woman to be in the kitchen, cook, clean, and take care of my children. But
You will
I
provide.
cannot say that unless I'm in a position to effectively provide, so she does not have to worry financially.
And I think also like in that position, like if that, like, let's say in my scenario, I would be a stay-at-home mom. I would still want to have my podcast or something going for me, or have something on the side. Like even if we're running a business, like have a gym or something. Like I'm not somebody who could just like never do anything.
Girl,
But
I'm a big believer. No offense. No offense to men, but I think women should always make their own bread. You never know what will happen.
Yeah.
You could be so in love. You could be this person the rest of your life, but God forbid something happens to them.
yeah.
God forbid they wake up one day, they don't want to be
Yeah.
with you. You need to be able to
I
take
think
care of
it's
yourself.
also hard to be like, if you want something, like, do you
I have to ask
have
for
to
it.
be like, can
Yeah.
I get this?
What's my limit for
or
the
like,
month?
am I getting a card and you trust me and I'm good?
Yeah.
Like, there's, we got to figure.
I would
out
never
those
be in a
boundaries.
predicament where someone's like, you wouldn't have that if it wasn't for me. No. Partner,
That's smart though. That's smart.
Yeah.
For women. That is smart.
I would see red if someone said that to me. I'd be like, oh, I gave you kids.
Yeah.
What do you
but
mean?
that's really crazy. Like the shit that women do to have kids is like a whole other thing that I
Yeah,
cannot.
I'm not like super feminist. I do like the roles,
Yeah.
I have no shame in that. But I do think if a woman wants to be independent,
Yeah.
that's who you're going to be with. You have to understand that that's what she
Yeah.
wants to do. She's not going to.
You can't force a woman to not work. You
Yes.
can offer it as you can offer
Yeah.
it as something that you can
And
provide.
if everything's aligned, yeah.
And if she doesn't want to take it, like, so be it. That's
Yeah,
fine.
she could work part time.
I think too, like when you're with a certain partner, you want to be a certain way. And I'm like, if a woman wants to be a certain way, that's great. Like I love like making a meal for my man, or if he
Yes.
comes home and I have the place clean, like it
Yes.
makes me happy to be like, hey,
Yeah.
like, and look cute and,
Yeah,
and
men
whatever.
love acts of
I
service.
love doing that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And with the right person.
Mhm.
But it doesn't mean you're also not independent. Like I have a partnership where like if I'm, doing all of these things, my man will be like, hey, let me like sit down, let me do the dishes. You just did all that or this or
Yes.
that.
Or
like,
I cooked, you clean.
yeah.
That's nice to, yeah. I agree. Okay, there. We just keep going down
I
rabbit
know.
holes, huh?
We had just an amazing time. I mean, Trey, you're welcome back anytime. Thank you for
Please
being
feel
here.
free to see you next Tuesday.
Yes.
Wait,
well,
are
just not
you?
to a woman.
Are you flirting with me again?
I might be. There might be something here.
Yo, she's been flirting with me like this whole time. Is this
I
regular?
condone it. I
Does,
condone
does she
No.
do this a lot? Is this
You're the only
regular?
guy we've had on here. No.
That is true. Okay, all right, I'll take it.
Is this a
But no,
boyfriend reveal?
all jokes aside, I do appreciate you guys for having me. I love what you have going on here. I just heard
Thank
about the
you.
thing that you guys have
Are you
with
a
the
little jealous?
Marlins coming
Oh,
up.
Oh, yes.
Shout out to y'all. Y'all have a lot of things coming up, and
Thank you.
you're trending the right way. So I love that for y'all.
We
so-
love the support. Thank you so much. Amanda, why don't you tell everyone where they can find us?
Everywhere. No, okay. So if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. We're also on TikTok and Instagram at Book Please Podcast. And we also made a Facebook group. You have to join. It's a book club. We want to hear your opinions. It is Book Please Booklets. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.